Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So of course, we are now on the international break, which means that we will not see a Premier League game by Newcastle United played until the 2nd of April. Premier League games in total will not be played until the 1st of April. And of course, like I say, we're now in the international break. So I thought I will do this video on the channel today, a live Q&A. I know it's a little out of nowhere because, you know, there hasn't been any promotion whatsoever for this video to come up on the channel, but hopefully there will be some people that will get involved with this live stream today. Of course, just hit up any questions you want at us in this video, Newcastle related, of course, or football related. I'll give you my thoughts on them the best I can in this video. But you know, this is just going to be a pretty much a laid back stream. Not really much into it. We're just going to talk basically about different topics that you guys come up with in the stream. So without further ado, of course, we will get into it. I see that there's nobody in the stream at the moment watching, unfortunately. So we will have a bit look at the news that is circulating around at the moment on Newcastle United. And then if anybody does come in the stream, of course, we will get into talking about them topics. So far, the news that we're seeing going around is mostly about the internationals. We're seeing that there's pictures going around of Botman training with the Dutch national side after getting his call up, of course, to the international team, which is fantastic for Botman. It's fantastic to see, you know, that Botman is finally getting that call up. I feel he did deserve to get a call up for the World Cup, but unfortunately he didn't get that call up when, you know, they were picking the Dutch national side. I thought, you know, he would have got that call up. He deserved to, but now he is getting that call up. He is in the national side for Holland as well. So we're seeing pictures circulating around of, you know, Sven Botman in the international team for Holland, which hopefully, you know, he will get a chance to play. The lad deserves it at the end of the day, like I've said. Players will be on international duty as well. Will be, of course, Trippier for England. Jamal Lewis has went away for Northern Ireland as well. Martin Dubravka has also gone away on international duty. Botman, of course, has went away on international duty, and Alexander Isak as well is away on international duty. But you know, it's going to be a bit of a boring one, unfortunately, for us. You know, Newcastle United fans who are just really eager to get into the next game, especially with the next game being Manchester United as well at St James's Park. It's a chance for us to get some revenge against them for that League Cup game as well. So, you know, it's just going to be a game that we really wish we could get to play now, but we're going to have to wait, unfortunately, until this international break is over with before we do get to see, you know, what we can do in that game against Manchester United at St James's Park. Of course, we'll see Ian here putting in a comment. Hi mate, hope you're well, hope you're keeping well. And like I said, going into this video, before we start talking about Sven Botman, of course, this video is just basically out of nowhere because of the international break. There was nothing really I had planned for the channel, unfortunately. With us being very busy, there was no way for us to plan anything for the channel during the international break. So hopefully we can get a decent live Q&A going on the channel today. You know, try and at least get a bit of a worthy content out there for you guys to, you know, sink your teeth into. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat, and I will, of course, you know, give you my honest opinion on them. There's 12 games left in the season now. as well. So, where do you guys see Newcastle finishing come, the end of the season, when we are, wrapping it up on the 28th of May against Chelsea down at Stamford Bridge? Where do you see us guys finishing in the league? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. See on the volley coming in there as well. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. It's been a little while since I've seen you commenting on the channel. It's nice to see you back commenting as well. And do go check out on the volley. They do loads of different content over on their channel as well. There's Celtic, there's Newcastle content on there as well. There's just a whole host of different football content over on their channel, so do go check them out. They are a fantastic bunch of guys over there. And a little bit for the older crowd of Newcastle United, a little bit for the older crowd of football fans as well, as they are older lads over there. So, they do talk about the older times of Newcastle United, the older times of football as well. Non-offense to you guys there, but of course, they do talk about the older times of football, the 60s, 70s, 80s football as well, over on their channel. So do go check them out. Like I say, guys, if you've got any comments, any questions you want to ask us, put them in the live chat. I will, of course, answer them the best of my ability. Next game up, of course, we all know is the game against Manchester United, at St James's Park. That is going to be an interesting game, but unfortunately, we're going to have to, wait for that game now until the international break is over. Of course, England are taking on Italy on the 23rd of this month. So they'll be taking on Italy on Thursday. What's your thoughts on that one? Would you like to see us do maybe a preview on that one for the game against Italy? If you do want to see that, let us know, of course, in the comments below if you want to, see us do a preview on that game against Italy. At the end of the day, I'm not really fussed, to be honest, on the internationals. I'm more focused at the moment on how Newcastle are doing in the league. That's my main focus right now, is, as I'm sure with the rest of Newcastle fan base, is that, Newcastle getting them Champions League spaces and finish in a very, respectable place in the league. That is my, opinion, and that is what I am hoping for the most, and I'm focused on the most as well. There's some more comments here as well from Wolfzone. Hi, if you want more statue, who will be our name stand? For one more statue, Wolf, I feel Joe Harvey deserves to have a statue at St James's Park. I think for what he's done for Newcastle United as a manager, he's probably one of the most successful managers Newcastle's had. In terms of what he did for the club whilst he was the manager, also as a player as well. He's a very respectful player. He's a manager, that got a lot of respect during his managerial days as well, and he's an absolute legend of Newcastle United. So for me, I think Joe Harvey does deserve to have a statue at St James's Park. He's got a plaque at the minute, which I feel unfortunately is, whilst it's good, it's not worthy of what Joe Harvey did in Newcastle United. I feel he's more deserving of getting something more than a plaque at St James's Park, and I'm sure he will under these owners. I'm sure there will be quite a few statues that will be given to ex-players and managers of Newcastle. I'm sure, in the years ahead, once Eddie Howe is moved on from Newcastle United, I'm sure Eddie Howe will, or depending on what is done, of course, during Eddie Howe's time here, he's doing fantastic right now. If he, of course, goes on to win us quite a few titles, I'm sure we'll see Eddie Howe, get a statue at St James's Park. For the East Stand, I'm not too sure on that one. There's been quite a few people say over the years, maybe we should rename the East Stand to the Sir Bobby Robson Stand. But as the East Stand is at the minute, the way it is, I don't feel it's worthy enough to name it the Sir Bobby Robson Stand. The stand isn't quite to the quality that I would expect, to see Sir Bobby Robson's name being put on it. If we can get that East Stand, expanded and build it up, which is something that I'm sure, the owners are looking to do moving forward. They've already bought back, like we've seen, on the channel already, they've already bought back the Strawberry Place area. So obviously they are looking at building the stadium up and expanding the stadium. They're wanting to stay at St James's Park as well. They're not wanting to move away from St James's Park unless it is absolutely necessary that we have to move away to expand the stadium. But as it is at the moment, I think, we are looking at expand the stadium moving forward. For the name of the East Stand, I'd say we should name it the Sir Bobby Robson Stand, of course, once it is expanded upon moving forward. Hopefully that answers your question, Wolf. Of course, got on the volley. We are no spring chickens. I meant no offense to you there, guys. I really didn't. But I just had to say, that you are the older fan base. You cater to the older fan base. So good to say that you didn't take that as an offence there. But hope you're keeping well, mate. Newcastle could still miss out on the Champions League, even if finished fourth. Did you know if Chelsea and Man U both finish out top four yet? Both win their European Cups. Newcastle would not qualify for fourth. I'm not sure on what you're getting at there, John, mate. To be honest, I feel with the way the games are and what is left of the season, I mean, if we look at the teams that are around where, Liverpool's next game is against Man City, that's going to be a tough one for Liverpool. Then we've got, Tottenham, they're going to be taking on Everton next. That can be a tough game as well for Tottenham, especially with what's going on there at the moment with their manager. Antonio Conte might not be there come that game against Everton. Obviously, we've got Manchester United at St James's Park, so that's going to be a game where we're going to have to focus on. It's not going to be an easy game because we all know, they could have the referee there to help them, like we did see in the League Cup. And I'm not pulling any punches on that one, to be honest. We all know what the referee's been like in the Manchester United games. We all know he's been very favourable towards Manchester United in them games as well. So, I'm not going to pull any punches on that one. I'm going to say it like it is. And we've got to be careful with the referees going into that game against Man U for sure. But there will be preview on that one as we get closer to that game. But, looking at the way the games are shaping up, I feel we do have a big chance of getting in there. I mean, we've got a game in hand on Tottenham. We're level on games with Manchester United and Liverpool. We are, now 5 points, I believe it is, ahead of Liverpool in fifth place. We're only 2 points behind Spurs, who are occupying fourth place. So I believe with the games that we've got, looking at the fixtures ahead that we have left in this campaign, after the Man United game at St James's Park, we've got a game away against West Ham. I feel that game, has to be 3 points. A game against Brentford away as well, which is going to be a tough one. I'm not going to lie on that one, even though it is Brentford. Looking at the way they've been performing this season, they're currently occupying 8th in the Premier League as well. And with the way they've been performing this season, against other teams, they've gotten some pretty good results down there at the community stadium against some pretty good teams. I believe they got a good result against Man City down there at the community stadium this season. So that will be a tough game. If they'll have Ivan Toney or not for that one remains to be seen, because he's still going on with that whole betting scandal that he's done. So, you know, maybe by the time we get to that game, he might not be playing in it, but I think he might be, you know, because it is taking a little while for them, unfortunately, to, you know, get around to dealing with that incident with Ivan Toney and his betting scandal. And, you know, what do you guys think about that? Let us know your thoughts on that as well. It seems to be a bit of a, you know, skeptic one as well. It seems to be a bit of a dangerous situation going on there, that it's taken them so long to deal with that. I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. After that game, of course, we've got Aston Villa and Villa Park as well. So that'll be an interesting one to see how that game plays out, with them occupying 11th in the Premier League at the moment. And then, of course, we'll go back to home games, 23rd of April against Tottenham at St James's Park. So looking at the games, you know, I do believe that we have every chance, John May, of making the Champions League. I don't think Chelsea will make Champions League football this season. I mean, at the moment, they've played 27 games, so one game more than us. They're on 38 points, so they're quite a bit off the pace for getting into a Champions League spot. They might make Europa League or Europa Conference League. They might make that. But it would be a massive push, I think, for Chelsea to be getting into that area. Of course, they're still in Europe as well, I believe. So, you know, they might be able to make it through by that. But I can't remember who they got, to be honest, in the Champions League. I can't remember who their fixtures were for that one. I'll try and find out for you on who the teams were that they got in the Champions League. Where is it now? Got Champions League fixtures here. Chelsea got Real Madrid in the Champions League, so that's going to be a tough one for Chelsea, I think. I think Chelsea will find it difficult to get past them. Liverpool found it quite hard against them. So, you know, I think Chelsea will find it quite difficult as well. And the first leg of that game as well is played at the Bernabeu as well, so that'll be a tough one for them. I don't see Chelsea making Champions League unless they, you know, can make it through and win the Champions League this season. I don't see them making Champions League next season by league position. There's quite a few big teams as well still left in the Champions League as well, so that might be difficult for them to win that. But moving on from that question, look at on the volley, Joe Harvey for sure. What about Mr. Watt, first ever manager that won 4 league titles? Yeah, I'm absolutely sure. You know, if the owners will be looking into, you know, giving statues to whoever has done remarkable things at Newcastle. You know, Mr. Watt definitely, I think, would be, you know, one that could get a statue at Newcastle. To be honest, you know, I'm sure that will be something that they will be looking at moving down the line. But at the moment, the main focus, of course, of the owners is to, you know, get that playing squad up to quality so that we can be, you know, competing in the Champions League week in, week out, be, you know, every season in that Champions League, taking on teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and the like. You know, that is the goal of the owners moving forward. Moving on from that one, we've got another comment from John Clegg. Kevin Keegan for a statue as a player and a manager twice of the football club. He lit up the tune. He has always championed the club and fans. I fully agree with that one. Kevin Keegan does deserve a statue in Newcastle for what he's done. The man just absolutely, embodies what Newcastle United is all about. He knows exactly, what us fans feel about this club, the feeling around this club as well. He just gets it. And Eddie Howe is going exactly the same way. If he keeps it up, Eddie Howe will, put in that ability. I don't know if it'll be quite as good as Kevin Keegan's time during the 90s. Hopefully, we'll see Eddie Howe win titles. That would be, what we want to see, of course, as fans. That's what every football fan should be looking to see, is, their manager going out there and making sure that the team wins a title, wins cups. That is the whole purpose of a football club in the first place, is to go out there, and compete and win things. And I think Eddie Howe will do that. Kevin Keegan came so close to doing that in the 90s before, unfortunately, we got screwed by Manchester United, which will always be a horrible thing that we'll have to live with, and hopefully we won't have to, feel that pain moving forward under these owners, because I feel we are going to win something, and it's only a matter of time before we do under these owners as well. But moving on from that comment from John Clegg to another comment from John Clegg, who says, if Chelsea win the Champions League, then they are in it next year as champions, thus taking a Premier League place away. Unlikely, but worth keeping in mind. I fully agree. Like I said, if they do win the Champions League, they will get to be in it next year as the champions. It does, of course, like you say, take away a Premier League place. And of course, that would mean that, that would allow for other teams to have a chance at getting in that Champions League. But like I said, as well, it does seem pretty unlikely. Like you've just said yourself, it does seem unlikely that they could do it, because, like I said, they do have a game against Real Madrid first that they have to play against in it at the Bernabeu, and we've all seen what Liverpool did against Real Madrid. We've all seen what Real Madrid did against Liverpool. And of course, the second leg is at Stamford Bridge for that one. So for me, I see Chelsea getting knocked out of the Champions League, and I see, them having trouble making it into Europe next season. They might get Europa Conference League, or they might get the Europa League, but that is probably the bare minimum that they would get, and that might be a push as well, like I said. But nice comment there by you, John, mate. Moving on to a comment from Wolf. Will Adidas be next make for new season? This is a topic that I've already covered in another video on my channel, Wolf, mate, but I've got to say, I don't see Adidas coming in next season. With the way Castro are playing hardball at the minute, I just don't see Adidas being able to come in next season, because Castro are wanting big money to, be bought out of their contract with us. They're making a lot of money off of Newcastle United. I mean, look at how many kits it's been brought out this season alone. Training gear, limited edition kits, right, left and centre. That's been brought out by Castro on the Newcastle website. Of course, they're making loads of money out of Whistle. For the owners to get in a new kit maker for next season, I feel it would take a decent packet of money to be able to buy Castro out of the contract that they currently have now. But I would love to see Adidas come in next season. I mean, when you think, what Adidas has done for Newcastle, or what Newcastle has done for Adidas, over the years, when They were the kit makers. They made some fantastic kits for Newcastle. Obviously, the one that always comes to mind for quite a lot of football fans, not just Newcastle fans, is the kits that were made during the entertainers period. You know, them two iconic kits that still to this day, you know, are some of the best kits that's been made in football by a kit maker. And, you know, they're very sought after kits as well. You can see them selling for hundreds and hundreds of pounds, you know, on eBay. You can see them selling all over the place for hundreds of pounds, you know. So I think if we do get Adidas back in, you know, be it next season, which I think could be quite slim that we will get to see them next season, maybe the season after that, going off of, you know, some news that I have seen circulating around saying that Adidas are lining up Stella McCartney, Paul McCartney's daughter, to come in and design the kits for the 24-25 season, I think it was, if I remember rightly. I've seen circulating around on the internet, you know. So if that is the case and that is legitimate, you know, and we're not being just fooled here by some fake news, if that is the case, then I think that's when we will see, you know, Adidas coming in and making the kits for Newcastle. But next season, I don't know. Like I said, I don't see them, you know, coming in next season with the way Castro are playing hardball on the contract at the moment. But I hope that's answered your question. If there's any more questions that you have got down in the comments below, that would be great. And if anybody wants to come on the stream as well, have your face shown on the stream, you know, get involved in the stream, let us know. I will put the link into the live chat for anybody that does want to join in on the stream and get involved. We can have a chat about Newcastle as well. If anybody wants to get involved by that way, then I will put the link into the live chat for anybody that wants to do that. I'll be putting that in there now, actually, for anybody that wants to join in on the stream. The link is now in the live chat. So if you want to, you know, come on the stream and have your say on some topics, you can talk about anything you want. You know, you can talk about the previous game against can talk pretty much about anything. You can talk about the previous game against Nottingham Forest. You can talk about the game against Wolves. You can talk about, you know, the season in a whole. If you want to get in and get involved in the stream by that way, and you want to come on, the link is there now in the live chat for anybody that does want to join. And if you've got any more questions, then of course just put them in the live chat and I will answer them on the stream. And we'll have a quick look and see if there's any more news circulating around on Newcastle today. And we'll talk a little bit about it if we can find some more news on it. See one comment that's coming here from On the Volley. What do you think about the proposed safe standing at St James's Park? This is a topic, again, that I have covered on the channel on a video quite a while ago when they were talking about the safe standing coming into St James's Park, and I'm all for it if it's done in the right way. It's got to be done in the right way, though, because this is a very dangerous scenario that we're looking at here. You know, if it's not done in the right way and it's not done safely enough, then, you know, we could end up with some pretty dangerous things happening. We all know the instance that happened at Hillsborough, when 97 fans lost their lives there. Of course, we know what's happened, at other sporting grounds as well, when, precautions haven't been taken in the right way. Hell, we're seeing it this season as well, with our game against Sheffield Wednesday, where many Newcastle fans were having to cut areas to open up space and to relieve some of the pressure in the stands. And, I feel we do have to look at this in the right way. We do have to look at this in a very safe way if we're going to go ahead with safe standing. But I'm all for it. It would allow for a slight increase in the capacity at St James's Park. I think if we want to do it as well, we do already have safe standing, by the way, at St James's Park, but only in the away section of the ground. You can see it, when the away fans up on level 7, they do have a bar in front of them, allowing for them to be able to stand up during the game. So there is actually safe standing inside the ground at the moment. It's only unfortunately in effect for the away fans at the moment, but I'm sure, if we can get this done in a safe way, then we will see, safe standing accessible to us home fans that would be able to get, use that as well. I think if they do it at St James's Park, then it's going to have to be low down near the pitch for that to be the case, for it to be able to use safe standing. I can't see them doing it somewhere higher up. I know they're doing it higher up with the level 7 for the away fans, but I think for home fans, we're going to need to have it lower down, the pitch level for the safe standing to work a lot easier. And I think it will be a lot safer as well if we do that, because there won't be, the added risk of people falling from great heights up, down, So hopefully that answers your question on the volley. Move on to Wolf's question here. I still can't wait when we see expanded Gallagher End. Yes, that is going to be a while, unfortunately, I think, before we do see the stadium getting expanded. But when it does get done, we are looking at pretty decent increase in capacity. We'll be going from 52,000 up to about, I'd say, 60,000 capacity. If it was all to look identical, so like the Leazes End would be the Gallagher End, if you know what I mean. So like the Gallagher End would look like the Leazes End, the Milburn stand would, of course, mirror image across onto the East stand. Then, that would be great as well, because then we'll be looking at probably about 80,000 that way. I think, if I remember rightly, I did see on the channel, if you played the old LMA games, that if you actually did the Milburn stand to the East stand, the Leazes stand to the Gallagher stand, and you had it all looking at exactly the same, you would get about 80,000. So, I can't wait as well. It's going to look fantastic when, hopefully we do get to see that expansion made. But I think that might be a while away yet before we see anything like that being done. Like I said, the main focus at the moment is to get a team that can compete on the pitch, and can go out there and compete for the Champions League every single season. So I hear you, mate. You make sense. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. All the best for now. I have to go to work now. Great stream. See you soon. See you soon, mate. Hope you well, and hope you have a good time at work as well. But thanks for dropping in on the stream. It's nice to see you come in here and get involved in the videos as well. I think I'll run this for maybe another few minutes. We'll get to about 40-minute video, and then I think we'll end the stream off there, guys. But if you've got any more questions to post to us in the live chat, please do, and I will of course talk about them to the best of my ability in the video. At the end of the day, I'm just a fan like you guys, so I know basically as much as you do, but I'll try and give you my opinion on whatever topics you want to talk about on the football. But I don't see any more news, unfortunately, today. With it being the international break, it's quite quiet as well on the Newcastle news front. Trying to see if I can find some more news forward to talk about in this video. Talking about many different things today, talking about different topics. Got Southgate talking about Newcastle United players. Don't really know what he'd know about Newcastle players, to be honest. We do see some news coming out as well, but I think I'll cover that in a different video. I've seen a comment here from Wolf. Do you think St James's Park should have a museum and more trophy room we have in our history? Very much so. Very much so, Wolf, mate. I think we should have a museum, and of course, there's plenty of trophies that we've got in our history to be able to, put in to a museum. There's plenty there that on show. It's in James's Park that could be on show. There's a lot of stuff, from the beginnings of Newcastle United that could be on show. I mean, I'm sure they could get some mannequins put into a museum with the old Victorian Newcastle United shirts on them. Give a little bit of history about different players that have played for Newcastle as well. There could be certain little things like that, like little areas where you have a mannequin wearing the Newcastle United kit that Jackie Milburn wore in Newcastle. Maybe it's a little bit about Jackie Milburn's history, coming through Newcastle and growing up in Newcastle as well. Different things like that, would be nice to see around the stadium. It would help for, fans that are younger, fans that don't quite know that much about Newcastle's history, because there is quite a lot of people that will be only just starting to support Newcastle United. There's always going to be new fans joining the fan base every day. So to see a museum at St James's Park would be nice. They could add that in on a stadium tour as well, where you get free, admission in to go and look around the museum. If you buy a stadium tour, I've seen that done, with clubs like Liverpool. They've got that sort of thing as well, where they showcase some of their higher achievements in the museum. But that is something that we could see done at Newcastle United. But again, I think it will be further down the line that we'll see this sort of stuff coming into the mind of the owners. Obviously they'll be thinking about it now, but they'll be wanting to bring that into effect further down the road once we've established ourselves a bit more in the league. Obviously this season's been fantastic for the way we've played. We've put in an absolutely fantastic season, when you consider that we were in a relegation scrap last season, and we are now, in a absolutely fantastic position, staring down the barrel in a Champions League spot, which in itself is absolutely fantastic to see, that we are in a absolutely brilliant area, fifth in the league, 47 points. We've got every chance of making that Champions League this season. If we do fall short, then we'll make Europa League bare minimum, which is still fantastic. It's much better than what we were getting last season. When you consider, like I said, last season we were fighting a relegation scrap. We managed to find a way up the table into a, respectable mid-table position. Now we are in, the top six for quite a bit of the season as well. We're inside top four. So, things are changing, and we're starting to see that, but it is going to take a little bit more time. Like Gaddafi said, patience is a virtue. That is something that we are going to have to be very patient with the owners in their way of, trying to make Newcastle United into this absolutely dominant force in world football, and it's going to take time. But yes, I think a museum and a trophy room will come, but it will come further down the line. And one more question here from Wolf. Sorry for my sentence. No worries, mate. No worries. At the end of the day, I fully understood your question there, so don't worry about that. So I hope this video has been of note to you. If it has, please do hit a like on it. Sorry, I didn't have anything else major planned for the channel. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, of course, I didn't have much chance, unfortunately, to plan anything for the international break because I was quite busy. But I will be trying to get a few more videos out on different topics of, what's going on at Newcastle United moving forward as we're in this international break. And then as we get closer to coming back off the international break, of course, there will be a preview for that game against Manchester United at St James's Park. Like I say, if this live stream has been of note to you, please do hit a like on it, as it does help the channel to grow. I'm trying to get to 2k subscribers at the moment. I'm currently stuck at 1.55k, so we're quite a way, unfortunately, off getting to that 2k at the minute. So I can only grow the channel with the support from you guys. So if you can, please hit a like on it. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please do that as well, as that does help the channel to grow. And also there is a donation button down below as well, if you want to donate to the channel and put in some money there, which does help the channel as well, as the money goes back into things to improve the channel, lights, mics, what have you, little things like that that improve the videos for you guys. But till next time, I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you all next time. All right, lads.